Hey everyone, it's time to have some fun with a 1, 2, 3, 4 light set. Let's take a look at some of the gear, the equipment that's being used first, and then we'll set up our lights, and then we'll have our model come onto the set. Let's start with setting up the lights in the first place. Now, it's time to abandon TTL. Sorry, it's time to control full manually because we got a lot of stuff going on here. We've got a gray background, we've got different light shapers. We don't want to guess. We don't want to have things having any variation, so we're going to dial everything in manually. To do that, of course, I've got my light meter. This is my Sekonic 308S. I've also got a Sekonic 478 on set as well, but for our kind of metering that we're going to be doing, it really doesn't matter. Now, I've got also 3 different types of flashes on here. I've got a DI700A. I've actually got 2 of them on set besides the one here in my hand. I've got an I60A, which is here, which is in this softbox right here. I'll show it to you closer in a minute. And we have an I40. And let me bring that up here. The I40 is going to be our background light. The I40 has a blue gel over it. This is from Rogue. And we've got it on slave mode. It's on film slave mode, which means when it sees another flash fire, it will fire. We're going to set this on a certain power and leave it there. Once we meter it, it'll be set and forget because we want the amount of light hitting the background to be the same every time. So this one has a blue gel on it to add a little bit of blue color. Next to it, we're going to have another DI700 and it has a red gel on it. And this is going to be used to add a little splash of red to the back of the head. So we'll put this over here as well. Now I've got lights set up in 3 different zones. I've got my main light in A, which is right here. This is an octa. I'll show you this a little closer. I've got the B light in the softbox, which has a grid. This is going to be used sort of as a combination fill and separation light to add some light to the far side of the face as well as the shoulders. Now we have Kendra today, and I found that I can photograph her either broad lit or short lit. Short lit has a different effect when photographing her, so we're going to start out short lighting her with this big octa. So the grid's going to be our separation light. It has an I60A in it. We'll have our red light on the hair opposite the main, and then we have the blue light on the background. So the red light is our C light, the small softbox is B, the big octa is A. Now the beauty of this system is it all gets controlled right from here. In fact, let me zoom in so you can see a little bit closer how it works. So that we don't have to stop during the shoot to show you how these things work. I wanted to show you, I've got the controller, the Air One controller here. And this light, the DI700 is currently set as an A light. The I60A is set as a B light. So I've got A and B turned on here on the controller. So if I hit the S button until A just flashes, you can see I'm on manual and it's showing 3 bars, and it's also showing 3 bars on the back of the DI700. If I rotate the wheel here to increase the power or decrease the power, you can see that the DI700 is mimicking what this display is showing. They are exactly the same. This is what I love about this light system so much. It is so intuitive and obvious what's going on. Now the B displays a little differently. So let's say I want to switch to B. So I'll hit the S button. Now B is flashing. And notice as I make a change, the B is a more digital display, where this is a little more analog. As I change the power here, it actually shows you the number, so you can see 1/16, 1/8 power like it's reading on the bottom of the controller. And I can bring this up and down, and we see it right here. Now, if I like these ratios, as this is set, what I can also do is I can change them both at the same time. So if the ratio between the 2 is good, but I want a little bit more power, I hit S until all the letters are flashing, and then I can go up or down, and you see the lights moving with it. It's just a brilliant system, and it is so easy to use. And then I can just, really the easiest way to do it is hit mode 3 times to bring you back to manual. You'll notice C is off because I'm not using a C light at the moment, but if I hit S and hit it again until the C shows up, then I just tap the power button once, and it turns on the C light, and I can do the same thing there. Brilliant controller, brilliant system, very easy to use, and all your control changes happen right here. Love this system. You're going to love it too because it is so easy to use and so effective. All right, so let's take a look at our main light. This is going to be the Octa. In fact, I'll bring it around here and bring it down a little bit. It has another DI 700 in it. And I love this Octa. It goes right straight through. Let me turn it around so you can see what's going on in here. So we have our outer diffuser and our inner diffuser here. And you might see this little post sticking out of the inner diffuser. Wonder what's that all about? Well, this is a Photodiox Pro Series Octa. And what I really like about these is because these things take up a lot of room when they're put together, is the whole thing folds down to nothing. There's this center armature here. Just give it a pull, and the whole thing folds down into a small shape that you can put away, and it doesn't take up a huge amount of room. Or if you're traveling, you go on set. I love these things because they fold down to nothing without a lot of stress trying to put the things together. All you do is push that all the way through. There's Velcro tabs on the inner diffuser that hook up to Velcro here. And then there's Velcro on the inside of the Octa. All right, so I decided I'm going to use my 478 for this. What the heck? Just for a different look. So I've got my meter set to read, 100 ISO. I've got the flash at 1/16th power. So let's see what but we're fairly close. So let's see what that gives us. I hit the measure button, and measure back to the flash. Get my reading. It's giving me F10. Actually, that's plenty. In fact, I could even bring it down a little bit from that, but we'll remeter when Kendra's on the set. So now let's see what the B light is doing. As a separation light, I want this at least to stop, probably 2 stops under. So F10, what's 2 stops down from F10? Well, 9, 8, 7 would be 1 stop. 6, 3, 5, 6, 5 would be 2 stops. So I want this light to come in at F5. Works better when you turn the flash on. Okay, so here's our reading. Wow, that was lucky, F5. So F5 is at 1/32nd power. So I've got F10 here, F5. Next is to set up the hair light. Now Kendra's shorter than me, obviously. So I'm gonna bring this in about right here, and I'm just gonna measure it against my hair. I probably want it a smidge lower than what we have going on with the separation light. So, and since I don't wanna read this separation light, let's turn off B again. And we'll turn on C. And I'm going to guess, let's say 1/64th power. Let's try to see what that does. So I'm just going to measure it here, back to that light. And I'm getting F8, that's too much. Let's bring it down again. 5, 6. We're going to have to back off on this one a little bit because I can't go down any lower. So we'll put that back there. Let's measure again. 4, 5. A little bit under that. That's pretty good. So we've got 4, 5 coming out of our red light. Our fill light here is F5. This is F10. Last thing we want to check is the background light. Now the background light is only firing when it sees another light fire. So if I have my main, it's firing as well. However, the problem with that is I don't want the main to influence the background. So I'm going to have to turn that so it's facing the other way and not adding light to the background. So let's see what our little I-40 will add for the background. And it's coming in at F2, so we need to bring that up a bit. Now, since this fourth light here, the little I-40 with the blue gel on it, is acting as a slave, it's just going to fire when it sees another light. It's running completely manually. It's not being controlled by the controller itself. So I just increased the power to 1/8 power. Let's see what that gives us. F4, there we go, much better. So we've got 4, 4, 5, 5, 10. I think we're good. Now last thing we want to do is take a measurement back to where the camera's going to be. So I'm going to turn this back again to where our subject is going to be. And I'm going to get a reading more. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to go back to the camera, but I'm going to slightly go towards this since this is where most of the light is coming from. So let's get a reading back to the camera. And I'm getting F9, perfect. So that's our reading back to the camera. F9, everything's in place, everything's ready to go. All we need is our model. So I hope you see that having a light meter like this, or even a simple one like the 308, really just makes this simple. My model's not here yet, but everything is set up and ready to go. I know my light's perfect. I'm going to adjust a little bit for her height, but I know with her standing here, that's it. She can walk in, we can shoot, be done. When you have clients coming in, you want to have it be leisurely, but you want it to be efficient. You don't want to waste a lot of time. You don't want to be fumbling around, because if you're fumbling around with your lights while your client is here, they're going to lose interest. And even if you have a model, they're going to lose interest. You got to keep the flow going. So by having your lights all set up and metered, again, it doesn't care if skin color, clothing color, anything. When your subject shows up, the meter measures the amount of light hitting right here, and it's going to be perfect every time. So we're good to go. We got our speed lights in and ready in our light shapers. Background light, hair light, separation light, main. That's it. Just remember, figure out your main first. Once you get that, everything else will flow off of that. So let's wait for our model and we can start shooting.